It's my privilege to give you a bit of feedback on Golden Arrow's journey to RTMS. And it's not working. How do I? Oh, okay, sorry. All right, I just want to start with the benefits of RTMS. The way that we look at that is that if you've got systems and processes, then we say there's a strong correlation between systems and processes and performance. So if you're strong on the left-hand side, you will probably be strong on the right-hand side as well. So with that comment, if you tick the box of RTMS accreditation, then you tick a box to say, yes, you've got the required systems and processes. On top of that, what you do is that you say that you've got the required implementation, and you can take the implementation slightly further to say implementation plus continuous improvement of your systems. RTMS will give you some recognition. The government will give you recognition. There's a handful of contracts apparently these days that's out. Without RTMS, you won't qualify. Financial institutions will look favorably upon you if you go for a loan. And the public, that diamond in the front, it's definitely a tick in your quality box. Then RTMS accreditation, it's the right thing to do and it's got serious benefits. So, Golden Arrow, we're in Cape Town. I left there very early this morning. We employ about 3,000 people. We run approximately 1,300 buses under 4 brands. There's Golden Arrow, that's the bulk of it. Then the N2 on the left-hand side and TBRT on the right-hand side are the 2 companies that we're involved with. That's the BRT operation, or our portion of the BRT operation in Cape Town. Then Sibanye at the bottom. Long before BEE was a word or a phrase in South Africa, years before that, 2 sets of owners ago, actually formed a company with a number of previously disadvantaged operators in Cape Town, and that's Sibanye, and we're still involved with them. We've got a number of depots around the greater Cape Metropole, and that's the area that we service. All right, we believe, or we adhere to, Deming said you can only manage what you can measure, and we measure a lot. And we build our business, or if we look at RTMS, there's 3 pillars that we look at: vehicles, employees, and then the real important one, your passenger and the passenger experience. If you look at passenger experience, it's actually a combination of the 2 above. And that's where RTMS comes in, to actually give you or to focus your mind on how do you manage those 2. Starting with vehicles. At Golden Arrow, we insource our maintenance. People often look at me and say, so what the hell do you mean if you say insource? We do everything ourselves, excluding the maintenance on radiators. These days, if you look at our fleet, about less than 25% of our fleet have still got radiators in that you can repair. You throw the bloody things away these days. So we do everything in-house. At our operational depots, we do a safety check every 2,000 kilometers, roadworthy, the law every 6 months. We service a bus every 20,000 kilometers, and then we do general maintenance at the depots. We've got a central workshop where we do unit overhauls and major maintenance. What I mean with that, rebuild engines, transmissions, whatever you can find in a vehicle, and we do major maintenance. Before my time at Golden Arrow, they used to build buses there, so we've still got the capability to take a serious accident back to the original spec in the repair. So what we do is that at the depots, we're more and more moving to remove and fit, remove a unit, send it into the central workshop. We'll send them either a reconditioned unit or a new unit, if we haven't got a reconditioned unit, and they'll fit it at the depots. That's the high-level overview of what you do at the depots. Accreditation, we are in-house or in-house approved service facility, big words of MAN, Volvo, and Voith transmissions. We've just started servicing our first Scania vehicles now as well. Quality accreditations, RTMS and ISO. ISO, we've only got at our central workshops. And that's because of our BRT involvement in Cape Town. It's a prerequisite of the city that we must be ISO accredited. We're actually contemplating applying that they can replace RTMS in their tender, either or ISO. That we can just have ISO because that we can just have RTMS because we've got RTMS at all the depots, and it's a bit of a duplication. So what do? The backbone of our, I'm sure that they want to hamper me with this thing because my hands are tied and I struggle to talk now. Then I'll struggle even more. All right. The backbone of our maintenance system is an electronic job card system. What that means is that throughout the depots, there's numerous McDonald's tills. It looks exactly like a McDonald's till. All the employees are issued with a tag that will identify who's working on it. So the supervisor will assign the work on the McDonald's till. The employee will sign onto the job. He'll book his time. He'll book his spares, and he'll make comments about any maintenance issues that actually came up that should be on there. So what this system has actually given us, number one, it's paperless, and it's not that we are that big on saving paper. That's a fringe benefit. The big thing about paperless is the next part. It's real time. In the past, if you have got we had the paper job card system. So you do a safety check today. If you're lucky, everybody will hand in all their job cards today. If you're lucky, all the job cards will get to the clerk tomorrow. They'll capture it sometime tomorrow. The outstanding checklist for tomorrow morning have still got today's check on it because it's not been captured. So you'll do a safety check again on the same bloody bus. And then when they capture, there's two of them in a row. Sometimes if the clerks and everybody, if that flow of paper didn't work, you can have three of them in a row. Now, the moment you close the job, all the updating that needs to be done, automatic. So it's really fantastic. On the same system, if you're in front of it, you can go into the breakdown history of any bus that you are working on or any bus that you're interested in, and you can look at unit history. So for every unit we fit, we know that if it's a starter, how many kilometers ago did we fit the previous starter? So you've got unit life in kilometers for all the units that we fit. Then a serious benefit. In our game, insourcing plus of maintenance, if you take the total cost structure of Golden Arrow, labor 50% of the cost. Yes, drivers make a big chunk of that, but the engineering part or engineering portion plays a big role in that as well. So employee productivity. In the past, the wise artisans, and I'm sure we're the only people that have them, they'll sit at the end of the day and they will fill their day on a paper job card, and it will look as if they're seriously productive. Now, if you don't tag at 10 o'clock in the morning, time's gone. So you tag on, plus we haven't implemented it that you cannot tag on a bus that's not inside a depot. All that, if you put too many checks and balances in the system, it slows it down too much. But after the event, we can go and have a look. Was the bus in the depot when the guy said he worked on it? If not, fraud, good chance to be fired. Plus, this employee productivity is a fantastic thing because we use the same system for the guys, and we use all these stupid phrases. You clock for time and for money. You clock for money and you tag for time on a bus. So we've actually got a report because of that, and we call it touch time. What's the touch time compared to the paid time? So all of a sudden, the guys that's hiding away, you pick them up. Plus, you can run a report per bus to say, hang on, there's certain buses that's really labor intensive. Then you see it's the bus that laid up, that the people just tag on that bus to make their touch time look good. So it is really, without this, it used to be, it's still not 100% accurate, I know that, but it's substantially more accurate than what it's ever been in the past. Then automated emails. I heard a few things this morning. Oliver said about a vehicle being on the road without a license or all those things. We've got a number of automated emails that come every day. There's a few that really make me sleep a lot better. overdue checks. So on a report, every day, I can see per depot how many buses have not been checked in the last 2,000 kilometers. I can see per depot how many buses have not been serviced, what type of service, number of buses outstanding per depot. At the bottom, overdue licenses or CRW certificates. There I can see it per depot, per bus number. On the on the license, the 21 days, at day 20, the vehicle come on the report, and any vehicle that's on that report is not allowed on the road. Technical managers know this is a dismissible offense if you put a vehicle on the road, that any of these things, not the services, there it's our responsibility, but the legal side. You put an illegal vehicle on the road, it's a dismissible offense at Golden Arrow. Drivers. Few people alluded to drivers as well. It's a scarce commodity. A good driver is even a scarcer commodity. And they're the people that represent your company out there. It's a scary thought when I think of that. If we look at drivers, what have we got? We've got a driver training facility. We've just had our launch at the end of last year. We built a brand spanking new, totally out of fashion for Golden Arrow. It's actually quite fancy. Driver training facility. We train about 260 drivers a year. Drivers tend to take money for themselves, that's not theirs, so we lose quite a few drivers a year. Valid PRDP, exactly the same as the email that came to me and a number of the people on the technical side to say that a vehicle is legally allowed on the road. The operations guys receive exactly the same email, or a similar email, if a driver is legally allowed on the road. We've got random alcohol testing. We've got an on-site sister, on-site social worker, periodic refresher training. That's for the naughty guys. So if you've got certain number of offenses, you go back to the training school and you get retrained. Pat on the back. Often we neglect the good guys. And if I say guys, I mean the ladies as well. So pat on the back is for the good employees. Drive cam cameras in the buses. I changed this one on my presentation after I sent it to Paul. It's in 100% of the buses now. The thing of a drive cam, of any camera, is that I've just said that a driver is a scarce commodity. So with the clips that you've got available, you can immediately see whether your driver is innocent. Then you do not suspend him or her. They keep on driving. Plus, it's a fantastic tool if there's discipline involved that as part of your evidence. So it is really expensive, I think, but without that, you don't know what the hell people get up to out there. And it is scary, the things you see on a drive cam clip. So it is one of those things that without it, you even blinder than what you are with it. And it gives you, whenever your people misbehave out there, and that's your face to the public. Then Driver of the Year competition. We've got a competition where all the drivers are entered. They start with full marks and then they lose marks with offenses. If you're under a certain mark, I'm not exactly sure how the rules work for that, then you're not allowed to enter. The guys and ladies that enter, they write a test. So there's theory and practical, and then we've got a big function in a fancy hotel for the top 10, and we do a big rah-rah session on this. Just by the way, on this, I don't know if anybody of you know, but in Golden Arrow, we've got a guy, he's now retired, who's got Springbok colors for bus driving. He drove in Switzerland. There's more than one guy with Western Province colors. I never knew it existed. Then, the only reason why we're there are passengers. I said we like to measure. We measure a number of things, but we also say that you need to put something in a figure, because if you measure, you can actually have an argument. Otherwise, you stay in an is not argument. So we measure, and then we've got a formula to say, are we doing, just to give us a feel, and there's many other things that you measure, but to give us a feel, are we getting better? Duties standing, duties leaving late, accidents, breakdowns, and complaints. So you've got those 5 things. Just to show you how the formula works, we've got a peak on the Golden Arrow side. but that whole bunch get all put into one. So if it's only golden arrow, a peak of 1,060 means morning and afternoon. There's 2,120 peak buses then go out. So you start with the formula 2120 above the line and 2120 below the line. That's 100% in mathematics. Then above the line, for every incident that one of these things occur, of the 2,120 buses that go out, it's minus however many of these things happen above the line. And we're running at about above 97%. And that's how we look, are we doing to the customer, the passenger, what we should be doing? Of course, the target is 100. The last 2 or 3% is really difficult and expensive, and there it becomes incrementally small improvements, but it's a figure that's measured every single day to see, was this a horrible day? And that just highlights that you get a bit of focus again, because you get into this, we travel the same 1.3 million kilometers every bloody week of the year, excluding public holiday weeks or 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks over December. You get a bit blunt. If you don't do things like this or the RTMS figures, that blunt stays longer. It just focuses the mind. So, I've said earlier, if you've got systems and processes, and RTMS says, yes, you've got that, it's a foundation for a structured approach. If you haven't got a structured approach, it's bloody difficult to look after. If you've got 5 buses, you don't really need a structured approach. 10 is more structured than 5. If you haven't got a structured approach, you are gone. Or I think you're gone. Or we're not clever enough to manage that without a structured approach. And then it's the foundation for continuous improvement. And that's what we want to do. From the engineering side, the best example that we've got to show that our quality is getting better is to measure the breakdowns. We measure breakdowns per 100,000 kilometers. And this is what we've been able to do the last 11 years. So in 2007, we had 12 breakdowns for every 100,000 kilometers we drove. In 2018, just short of 3. So 76% down in the last 11 years, 5% down year on year, 2018 versus 2017. We plateauing out slightly, or not slightly, a lot. But again, it's similar to that last 2% on the passenger experience. The last 2 breakdowns per 100,000 kilometers, it's getting substantially more difficult than where we were 11 years ago. Just by the way, if you ever take a job from a guy that's not a genius, then you look like one, even if you're not. So I keep on reminding my boss that I started in 2008, and he ignores me. So, but it is really difficult. It's not, and it's probably half an excuse and half true. It's substantially more difficult now than what it was 10, 11 years ago. But this figure, the technical managers, every single week, I see every single one of them at least once. And this is what we do. We say if the breakdowns are good. In there, we've got 11 categories, 10 or 11 categories of where the breakdowns come from. The biggest focus on those are brakes. It's the best indicator if your vehicles are safe from a breakdown perspective. So we measure in here, we've got sub-measures. And so we are a little bit stupid. We really measure a lot. But without that, it is so difficult to manage a place. And the people can tell you all kinds of stories. Each depot have got a graph where it's the target is actually at 2. We're going to keep it at 2 until we get that 2.9 down to 2. And then we've got every week we've got a Manhattan of the result. That's a bar graph, and then there's a 5-week average. The 5-week average, and it's silly. It's a red line for the target and a green line for the 5-week average. And if your green line is below your red line, you can tell me anything and I'll believe you. If it's not, the explanation is 10 times what the other guys. So around the table, I just say, okay, who needs to tell me a lot? And they know exactly. If your red line is above your green line, that's what we do. And that's how you keep focus. Structured approach through systems and processes. Or maybe it's a slow thinker like me. Without this, I had dark hair 12 years ago. Without this, I would have looked like Oliver, I suppose, and like Adrian. They've been in transport longer than me. But without a system, really, you should not sleep well. So, just to repeat what I said right at the beginning. Systems and processes, strong correlation to performance. RTMS says, yes, you've got the systems and processes. Yes, you've implemented it, you're maintaining it, and you will get the recognition, and it's the right thing to do, and there's benefits. I saw some guys really excited about their stars. Ditto. Any questions? And sorry, if there's any questions, you need to ask me now, because I plan badly. I need to leave after I'm done. So I will gladly answer any questions, but I cannot stay for lunch. And I do like to eat. It's not... Nothing. Okay, thank you very much. This was nice.